So the consent process is something that I think a lot of participants and parents kind of ignore, actually. I think that when you're given a pile of documents and you're feeling rushed and you're feeling desperate, people often just sign the document. But in fact, people don't often read them. And that's a problem for me. I think that the consents are getting better and easier to read with input from patient advocates, saying this is hard. I still am pushing for videos or brochures or breaking them down into, understandable sound bites. But in general, it's really hard to understand all of the things that you're signing away, because if you start to read these documents, they talk about worst case scenarios, they talk about best case scenarios, they talk about what your rights are, whether or not you can pull out of a study, which you always can. A lot of people don't understand their rights. You can quit at any time. I don't advise it. Try not to sign up for it if you're not going to complete it, but you can quit. But the important parts of the consent are what's going to happen during the study. How long, people have signed up for studies and not understood that there's a placebo, not understood that there's a surgery, not understood that, that after the end of the original time period, like I said before, you're not going to continue to get drug. So really that's the time that you have to ask your PI every question. And you also have a right to have the entire consent read to you and explained. So you can take as much time as you need to understand. And then you can even take it home. You don't have to sign it then. You can take it to anybody you want to have it understood. But I think it's a really important process to understand. It's a legal document. It's binding. Often in the consent, you're told that you can't talk about the study to anybody outside of your family. Often in the consent, you're told that your child cannot be active for 24 hours before the study, before the measurements are taken. It's just important to understand what you're signing up for, just like you would for any other legal document.